So I've actually done this video already, only to realize that the card that I was recording, including I went in to Phoenixville to try to get some shots, only realized the card was not working. Yay, Canon C70. This brings up, I think this is a perfect time to start. I really begin discussing the Canon EOS C400. I know I'm really late to the party right about this, but I wanted to marinate on it. I wanted to collect my thoughts. I didn't want to get involved in the hype because I know the hype was going through. So after um, post hype clarity and week past to let that pass, I wanted to give my thoughts on it as someone who uses a Canon EOS RF cinema camera. Is it a worthy upgrade? Is Who's this for? Who I think is going where I think this camera is going to be a big success. Spoiler alert, I think this camera is going to be a big success. But also, who is this not going to be for, and is it for me? What's going on, everybody? My name is James Jackson. If you're new here, I do tips, tricks, news, and reviews for the film and video making industry. So if this is content that you like, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can stay up to date on all the content going forth. So today I'm going to be talking about the C400. I'm not going to go over the specs. You guys have had a week of everybody on the YouTube webs talking about the specs. Instead, I'm going to talk about it from an actual person who has shot with Canon RF cinema cameras and sort of just give my perspective on the new camera. The first thing I will say is it is very much long overdue. I know my buddy Simon Yates, when he was talking about that this may be an R5C2 or maybe an R1C, I knew it wasn't going to be any of these cameras because that was not where the need of the market was. I know it may seem cool, but most of us who actually do film work and do professional film work, we don't really want hybrid cameras. We want cameras that are built for video, that are built for professional video, and we want professional tools. This includes SDI, because SDI is just better than full-size HDMI. We want raw video recording. We want to be able, the ability to have professional audio inputs into it. 3.5mm jacks are not worth enough, and we don't want to buy a whole other accessory in order to get that done. We'll talk about the GH7 regarding that later. Also, we just wanted something that just felt like it was designed more for a production line. And this is exactly what the C400 is really designed for. This camera is built for production. Basically, you know, with the multiple video outputs with both HDMI, SDI for 1212G SDI, as well as the monitor out, it gives you the ability to have it where you got a viewing port for your client, you have one for your first AC, and you have a monitor still remaining for your on-camera monitor, which is, and someone like me who's been doing sort of that type of line of work and those type of productions more often, that having multiple video sources out is a very critical aspect for me for choosing a video. One of the things that I do appreciate about this is the fact that this camera can be dealt with multiple lighting conditions with the triple native ISO. Even though dual native ISO has always been a cool technology, haven't really been like it's seen as a necessity. I think some of the best cameras that I've filmed with, just like the camera I'm filming on me right now, the C70, doesn't have dual native ISO at all, but its noise floor is so good that it kind of negates all of that. But still having something where you can sort of set different base ISOs for certain conditions, where you can sort of play around a little more with how much light you actually need, is a great thing. Now, you're still going to need light, because at the end of the day, filmmaking, the art of filmmaking and the art of cinematography is the art of lighting. And that's been the game for always. So, and the ability to control light. So just because you have very little light doesn't mean you can't control it. So there is a difference. I want to make a point of that. Combining all of this with all the tools that we come to expect from Canon from their cinema line cameras, including built-in NDs, their their XLR inputs, all their exposure tools like false color, waveforms. All of this is all here in this package, and it really feels like, and honestly, this is why I actually felt, is that this is kind of a RF version of a C500 Mark II. And it could be, and depending on how you look at it, it can be a pro or it can be a con. It can be a pro because, hey, you got a version of the C500 in an RF style body. So if you've been investing in RF glass, it just makes sense that this is like the camera that you've been waiting for. Full frame, you can take advantage of all this RF glass that's been built for this ecosystem. I mean, lenses like the 24 to 105 f2.8, I think this is going to be a killer combo. Lenses like the 28 to 70 f2. And then there's actually been some rumors of some new zooms that are coming from Canon for this RF system that are really intriguing. I'm really excited to see more about. So if you are in this ecosystem of RF ecosystems and you've got more parties coming in like Cook, Sigma, Tamron, that are all coming in to start building glass for that, you know, this is a really cool thing and possibly a good investment because this is a good one-man band thing. That being said, if you're not invested in the RF system and you're still either with the EF mount, or maybe you've decided to just go more PL because PL is just a more standardized lens mount for filmmaking. In that case, you know, the C500 Mark II may still be the better option for you. One, you still get a native mount. You don't have to get an adapter. You don't have to buy an adapter. You can get a native mount version for the C500 Mark II. And most of the recording options, if not all the recording options at this point, are pretty much identical to the C400. And with the C500 Mark II, you do get 2 CF Express card slots, which means you can relay record your raw recording options, which you can't necessarily do that per se with all the options you can with the C400. You also get full-size XLRs, which to me, it's not necessarily a big thing, but I know for some people this may be a big thing, but you do get full-size XLRs. Yes, they're on the opposite side, so you will have to deal with that, but you do have that full-size XLR built into it. And you still have the 3 video source outputs on the C500 Mark II as you do on the C400. And quite honestly, in aftermarket, you probably could get a C500 Mark II much cheaper than a brand new C400. So who is the C400 for? Well, for me, it's very, very simple of who the C400 is for. It is for rental houses because rental houses are going to make a killing. They're going to make a killing getting this out. And for people that either rent it or purchase it on their own, documentary shooters, just again, basically on the RF glass that comes with it, along with that triple native ISO. Yes, technically, since it's a backside illuminated sensor, it's faster, but all the research I've shown is that it is faster, but it's not that much faster. It's not a significant boost. It's a nice boost, but it's not significant. And the dynamic range is not as good as the C300 Mark III or the C70. But again, to me, I don't care. If you have 12.5 to 13 stops, you're good regardless. And lastly, for me, the last people that it has is like wedding and event shooters, just simply because you got an all-in-one package and it's easy to get a whole bunch of series of lenses and just go out and shoot with those built-in NDs, with the professional XLR. You can really just go run and gun with this. Yes, it doesn't have IBIS, but the electronic stabilization out of Canon's cameras are great. What about me? Am I going to be looking at getting the C400? Well, no, I'm not. I personally think if this camera had came out 2 years ago, I probably would have definitely bought it without a second thought. But the dynamics of the camera market has changed, and people have made moves before this announcement of this camera. And for me, Blackmagic is the camera company that has impressed me the most with what they have coming out. And it's also why I basically made the decision to go basically full on, because of the full frame 3x2 options that Blackmagic provides in their full frame lineup of cameras. I don't get 3.2 options on the C70, and there's just I just love the image out of these cameras more so than I'm looking at Canon. Had Canon came with a 3.2 open gate option, had they came with a new log profile that was a little bit more neutral instead of being more reddish with their color science and a new color space, I might have continued to stick with them. But there's just something about the image out of these full frame cameras. I kind of know what it is, but it's hard to describe in this video, and I'm not trying to make this video long. But there's just something about the image that comes out of these cameras that's just, it hits, especially when you put full frame glass on these guys. It just hits differently, especially in 3.2 mode. And to me, Canons are just a bit late to the party for this. But I think it's still going to be a very successful camera. And if you're someone that is just, if you're someone that just likes to have a camera that just works for you, you know, I think Canon is still one of the best at that. But I'm now past a camera that just works for me. I want a camera that I want to fall in love with every time I shoot. And right now, that's Blackmagic design. But these are my thoughts. I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know. Leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care, everyone.